You've built a world for yourself, haven't you? A perfect, safe reality where everything is precisely as it should be. But what if that sanctuary, that gilded cage you call a life, is actually a prison? Today we follow a traveler on a descent into the truth, a journey to discover that their fortress was built on a foundation of lies. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. The traveler's abbey of safety wasn't built to keep chaos out. No, it was built to keep a terrible secret in, a state of terminal stagnation. It means their growth has completely stopped, frozen in place by comfortable routines and perfect appearances, all to avoid a truth that's been rotting from the inside.
So, let's look at the blueprints for this prison. We have to understand the architecture of this stagnation. You could call this fortress of the self, the ego. Now, that's the part of you that navigates reality, that gives you your sense of I. But sometimes it gets a little too protective. It starts building walls, not just to keep things out, but to wall you in, away from the beautiful, messy chaos of an authentic life.
And that brings us to the gilded cage. It's the perfect name for it, isn't it? It looks stunning, opulent, but it's a trap. Those performative rituals, that's the polite smile when you're screaming inside, the predictable path you walk every single day. They exist for one reason, to push down, to repress what's called the rotting interior psyche. That's all your fears, your dark thoughts, the real you that you've deemed unacceptable. The cage isn't keeping the traveler safe, it's keeping them stuck.
This lays out the central conflict beautifully. On one side, you have the facade, the perfect exterior, the polite lies, the performance. This is the curated version of the self that's on display for the world. But on the other side, you have the rot, the internal decay, the messy, authentic truths that are being hidden away. And the more energy the traveler pours into that facade, the more the rot spreads underneath.
But here's the thing about illusions. They can't last. That carefully built world is on borrowed time. A judgment is coming. And it's not coming from some outside force. No, the call is coming from inside the house, inside the traveler's own mind.
And here he is, the high judge of the void. You might know this figure as the superego. It's that part of your psyche that holds all the rules, the morals, your conscience. And in this story, the superego isn't a gentle guide. It's a judge, and it's here to deliver a verdict on the ego's entire fraudulent reality. It sees the gilded cage not as a home, but as a crime scene where the authentic self has been murdered. The judge's gavel is time itself, ticking away on this ebony clock, and the judgment comes in stages. With the first chime, that comforting illusion of safety begins to crack. Then, by the seventh chime, the traveler's life is no longer a safe, predictable loop. It's become a straight line pointing directly towards the inevitable. And finally, the 13th hour, the great noon, a moment of absolute blinding truth that cannot be avoided. So, the walls are down, the defenses have failed. What comes next? A visitor, an unexpected guest arrives at the door, and this guest brings with them a very specific feeling, the uncanny. It's that horrifying sensation when something deeply familiar, like your own home, suddenly becomes strange and terrifying.
Just who is this guest? Their very presence turns the homely into the unhomely. Suddenly, for our traveler, every familiar object seems to mock them. Every quiet corner now whispers the very truth they've spent a lifetime trying to escape. The sanctuary has become a house of horrors.
And here is the reveal. The guest is a doppelganger, the traveler's own double, a living, breathing mirror reflecting that rotting interior psyche. This figure is the id, the primal, instinctual, chaotic core of our being. It's the very force the gilded cage was built to contain, and it has come to collect the overdue debt of psychological honesty.
This is the moment of total unmasking. The terrifying thing at the door, it isn't a monster from the outside, it's been inside all along. It's the nameless, primal force that has been wearing the traveler's face like a mask. The polite social self has been ripped away, and what's left is the raw, untamed energy that was always hiding just beneath the surface.
This brings us to the final chamber. The frantic performance is over, the illusions have been burned away, and now, stripped of everything, the traveler is given not a punishment, but an offer. A radical cure for the exhausting fever of identity.
Now, to understand this offer, you have to understand a concept called thanatos, the death instinct. It sounds grim, I know, but it's not really about wanting to die. It's a deep, unconscious pull toward a state of absolute calm, of equilibrium.
It's a desire to finally end the struggle, the friction, the work of being a conscious individual. It's a yearning for silence.
And there it is, the crimson gift. This is the offer. It's the ultimate expression of that death instinct. It's called the logic of zero, the choice of absolute erasure. The id is offering a way out, a therapeutic cure for the pain of being you. Simply stop being. Return to the peace of the void.
And so we arrive at the final crucible. The old self, the entire gilded cage, is nothing but ashes. But this isn't an execution, it's a choice. With that old identity gone for good, the traveler stands at a crossroads. What comes next when disappearing is a genuine option?
This slide lays out the two paths starkly. On the left, the logic of zero. This is the siren song of the grand silence, the profound peace of non-being. It's the easy way out. But on the right, that's the logic of one. This is the hard path, to embrace the friction of consciousness, to forge a sovereign mind from the ruins, and to willingly carry the unfiltered weight of a truly authentic existence.
So here stands the traveler, completely exposed. The architecture of their life is shattered. The fever of their false identity is broken. The whole frantic theater of the self has finally, mercifully, gone dark. All that's left is a raw, terrifying, and honest void, and a choice that must be made.
And that's where the journey ends, with a question. It was posed to the traveler, but really, it's for you, for all of us. When you're finally forced to see the unfiltered truth of who you are, what do? Will you choose the silence, the peaceful dissolution into nothingness? Or will you choose the fire, the painful, difficult, glorious work of building a real self from the ashes? The choice is yours.